Hey, Afterburner by MSI is pretty cool, but it's freaking ugly. Of course, you can download some skins and make it much more pleasant. For example, this Lucid stuff by Awful's Quadmate is fantastic. And then there's a Visionary GeForce, which I've been using for a while, but it's just like everything else, it is quite bloated. Like, I don't need the GeForce logo there, I don't need Powered by Riva Turner there, I don't need these huge buttons there, I don't need a lot of stuff. And look at this border, so much space wasted. And to be honest, I never actually look at this, except when starting it. Nonetheless, it is cool to be able to modify this stuff. So we're gonna create a new skin, which is modifying a skin. You could create one from scratch as well if you wanted, but don't do that. Take one of the defaults and use that. So let's just go to the settings and set it back to the default. I'm using version 3. Default MSI Afterburner version 3 skin, that's what I work with. So the first step is to find out where the heck MSI Afterburner is located. The very first step is to figure out where is MSI Afterburner installed, and that is usually in C program files x86/MSI Afterburner. If you cannot find this location, then press start and search for MSI Afterburner. And then on the right hand side, you will be able to pick open file location or right click and open file location. And then you can see the location here. This is just start menu location, so never mind that. Right click the link or shortcut. Right-click, Properties, and here you have it. C program files x86 MSI Afterburner. You can just copy that, put it right there, maybe without quotes. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the location. Step 1 done. Step 2, locate the skins folder. Over here it is. We're going to work with default 3. If you try to open one of these USF files with 7-zip, it just doesn't work, so you have to decompile it. But let's go back first into the MSI Afterburner folder, and here you have to open a command line interface, that is a PowerShell, like here, or CMD, which you can also use. Yeah, so that works both. How did I do that? You can just press Windows R and type in CMD, and then you just copy this, Control C, and then type in CD here, space, and then right click, and you are in the correct location. If you shift right click here, you can also select Open PowerShell window here or Open CMD. It's differs depending on how your Windows is configured, but there should be an option here, and that opens such a window. Shift right click. Shift is the key that if you hold down Shift and type, it doesn't look like this, but instead it looks like this. It makes your letters uppercase and your numbers into special characters. So again, Shift right click. If you just right click on white space here, nothing is available here. If you click on a file or Shift right-click on a file, it doesn't work. You have to Shift right-click onto the white space between the files or under files, and then you can open PowerShell or something equivalent here. Okay, this is probably the most complicated part of the whole thing, just figuring out how to open this. Okay, now type in /MSI and press the Tab key. That's a key left of the Q key. Left of that, it will just auto-complete the name. And I pick MSI Afterburner.exe, because that's what we have to use. And then we have to give it a space, -ds, this is for decompiling skins. Oh yeah, decompile skin, makes sense. And then space, and then the name of the skin. The name of the skin is right here, default 3. Let's type in default 3. I don't know if it's going to work with the lowercase, but let's try. And then confirm, because this is in a protected location. And failed to decompile default 3 skin by MSI Afterburner. This is because all skins, as far as I know, are password protected, unfortunately. But alas, we know the passwords for some skins. So this one, tex6xfjz3, I believe. Let's try that. So we have to type in the name of the thing, then comma, and then I can also right click to paste in here the password. Let's try again. Default 3 skin has been successfully decompiled. Cool. And it didn't matter that it was lowercase. And now we have a folder here called default 3. And here we have a bunch of image files, in this case PNG files, and one text file that is a header file without a file ending. That's interesting. And now let's just edit some files. So first we're going to rename this default folder to a better skin. That's just how I like to call it. And again, we need admin rights. Let's do that. Let's go inside and let's just edit one of these image files. I'm going to use Paint. So I'm just going to type in Paint into the start menu, and it should be on your system. I hope it is on your system. It might have been removed, actually. You might have to install it for free from the Windows App Store. It's not my favorite application anyways. I prefer to use other apps. I prefer to use GIMP, Paint.net is also fine. GIMP is my favorite, but I'm going to show you how to use Paint because most of you have it and many of you know how to use it, just so it is most easy for you to get started. Later you can get more advanced, but let's just do it as easy as possible for now. So to edit one of these images, and I'm going to edit the image that is most obnoxious to me, and that is the help button in this skin. Just drag it in there into Paint. There it is. We can control mouse wheel to zoom in, and I'm just going to fill it with some color. Yeah, cool. Filling it up, filling it up. For pixel perfect drawing, I need the pencil here. And let's just find whatever. Or use a rectangle. But no outline. Fill solid color. Yeah, that's what I want. That's not the color I want, but whatever. And now let's use the paint bucket here. Okay, cool. And now I'm gonna just, I don't know, paint some text. Let's pick this color. This is gonna be H, because this is, in case you didn't know, the button, here it is. If you press it, it opens Firefox or whatever your browser is and just sends you to the Afterburner homepage. Who needs it? Especially who needs it to be so big and so visible. Now let's just save this. We can try to press Ctrl S. Access to blah 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 denied. So this is the most annoying part, one of the most annoying parts about all of this. Since you're working in a protected location, you will have trouble overwriting files. So what I recommend is not to start all the applications as administrators. You could do that. Instead, just go to the Save As menu in the File menu and save it as a PNG, of course. And I recommend you just create a folder for your skin modding, skin creation project. For me, this is d/skin modding. And I'm just going to use the same file name, that's important. Any transparency will be lost. There is no transparency, so that's fine. Yeah, let's continue. Again, I don't like paint.exe, so whatever. Okay, so now we need to go to this location to get this file, right? Thankfully, I have a Explorer window right here. And let's just drag it into the protected folder here and replace and confirm we are admin, yeah. Okay, so now we replace that. Does that mean it works yet? Does that mean we can select the skin yet? Does that mean we can go to user interface and pick a better skin yet? No, there's no a better skin here yet. So what we have to do is we have to compile this. So instead of ds, we need to use cs, and we just use the name of a folder, a better skin. The password we don't set here, and don't use a password, by the way. Freaking don't use passwords. Let other people fix your skins when they get obsolete. Anyways, press enter, yes. And a better skin has been successfully compiled. So what does that mean? If we open MSI Afterburner, can we now go to the settings and scroll to the right to user interface to default MSI Afterburner skin and click it and pick our new skin? No. Well, yes and no. Thing is, we now have two default MSI Afterburner skins. Let's see, maybe it's this one. Oh, it is the one. Cool. So that works. But, of course, we have this annoying fact that the name is wrong. So it does work, but we do want to change the name in the settings user interface, right? Of course you do. Of course you do. So let's change the name now. So I'm going to close MS Afterburner once more. And over here in the A Better Skin folder, we have the header folder, which contains, for example, the name of the skin. So let's open Notepad. I prefer to use Notepad++, but we can start with Notepad. Let's just open that. And if we put the header in here and then try to save it, we have to, by the way, remove the text document extension. We have to use all files, and then we can save it as header. And then it says you don't have permissions to save to this location. So that sucks. What you can do is run as administrator here, or right-click run as administrator. And yes, and drag it in. No, but dragging in actually doesn't work. That's also annoying. You have to copy the path, go to File, Open, paste the path in here, remove this, pick the header file, and now you can edit it. So you can do that. Or you can just, copy it to this folder, open normal Notepad, drag it in here, make changes, and then each time you want to apply these changes, you just copy this back and overwrite it. That's how I prefer to do it. But we're going to work with this admin elevated text editor just to show you how it's possible. Okay, so the first thing we want to change is the name. So let's change default MSI Afterburner v3 skin to A Better Skin by Ivan Mods. Please leave the password as it is or delete it. Please do not create your own password. Please just don't use a password. Please let other people just decompile your skin so they can enhance it when there's a new version of MSI Afterburner and you are making too much money and too busy with jobs and family to make changes to your old skins. Just let them, the new generation of script kiddies, let them fix your skin, please. Anyways, after convincing 0 of you to do that, let's just save this. Let's just press File, Save. This worked because this is an administrator privilege text editor. All right, so now let's compile it again. Let's just, oh yeah, I just aborted this. This is why it's red. I don't type everything in every time. I just press up on the keyboard or down, up, down, down to jump through the history. So up, enter, left arrow key, enter, enter, and it's done. And I can just start MSI Afterburner once more for the next time. Let's see, what does happen here? If we go to settings, we go to user interface. For a strange reason, it actually saved that we use this skin. I guess because it's file-based, because the file name didn't change, only the name of a skin in the text file in the USF file or whatever it is. So that's cool. So let's see, there's a preview image. Let's actually change that. We could just drag it in here and add it in here. I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna first of all drag all image files I want to edit first to this folder. Copy it, actually, not move, but copy. And then I'm gonna edit them here. And this time I'm going to use GIMP. That's the program I'm most used to. So here it is. This is just the preview image. And I'm just going to fill it up with whatever. I'm just going to fill it with one color and add some text. What was it called again? A better skin. Yeet. And then I'm just going to Control E to export it. And I'm just going to press export and replace. All right, I can close this. Discard. I don't need the details about this. Okay, so here it is. And I'm just going to drag it back to the protected folder. Continue as admin. And then I'm going to again compile it. Yes, okay, good. And this window is still on. As you can see, it didn't update. Like this didn't update. What we can do is go to another skin, apply that. And then we select our skin, apply that. That didn't update the preview. To update the preview, yeah, we would actually have to restart Afterburner. If we go to settings and go to the skin selection, now it is this stupid image that I created. Cool, right? So next, let's edit the background. This is based on skinbase.png. Let's just copy this with Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V over here, and now I'm just going to edit it in GIMP, because that's the way I like it. And here we have a lot of pink. The pink is transparent. We can just start drawing. Let's make our brush a bit bigger. Maybe use some different colors, just showing stuff off. Also gonna remove that, and I really don't like all this self-marketing stuff. I really don't dislike the powered by Riva Turner. I really don't like these gradient user interfaces, so I'm gonna just paint over a bunch. The fact that you have a hole here, I prefer my windows to be square, thank you very much. Not square, rectangular, not some weird shapes. Okay, I'm going back to the settings again, because I want to show you something later. So now I'm just gonna overwrite this. So again, Control-E, and then export. By the way, I'm not sure if Control-E is the default. You might have to go to File, and then, let's see, export, here, export, in this case to Skinbase. Control-E for me. I hope it is also Control-E for you. So let's see, did this update? No, we have to compile it, of course. Let's compile it. Bada bing, bada bang. And it's done. In MSI Afterburner, the background should be different, but it isn't yet. Now the question is, can we just select a different skin? And then select the same skin and apply, and it will work? The answer is no. Instead, what we have to do, if we don't want to restart MSI Afterburner, we have to select a different skin. By the way, I do this by click, arrow down, apply. We have to apply this other skin first. And then click, up, apply. Oh, no, of course. Okay, so this is the thing that happens to me all the time. I forgot to copy the file over. Pujing. Okay, here it is. Now, of course, we have to compile again. Whoops. Yes, I say. Back in here, we try again. Go down, go back up, and apply. Doesn't work. We have to go and apply this one first, or any other skin, and then go back and apply that one. And now it works. But it's actually easier to just close and then click if you have an icon nearby. That's easier for me, so I'm going to do that from now on, because going to the menu and then scrolling all the way down here and then selecting something and applying, this just takes too long. I just restart the entire application. Okay, so you can see this looks already a lot better, doesn't it? Har har. I mean, for me it actually does, because I don't have to look at the logo stuff I don't like. But I want to show you one fun thing. Remember this image? Remember it? And now let's go to GIMP and let's paint a little more than we ought to. Let's paint not just like this, but let's actually paint this pixel, the very top leftmost pixel. Let's paint it over. And I'm going to actually use black to paint it over. Again, to demonstrate, I'm going to make sure that all the pixels next to it are not the same color. So let me show you again. You might notice that... can you notice that? Yeah, let's detach this. You notice that there's a hole in the skin. All what is pink is currently transparent. And we painted black and green here, and that became non-transparent. That is a feature. That is intended. There's also some transparency here. We got rid of the transparency at the bottom left, thankfully. So look what happens when we paint over the top leftmost corner pixel. And again, export, Control E. Yeah, it's successfully exported now. And I'm just going to close this. And I can't forget to copy this to the protected folder. Yes, I'm an admin. Okay, and of course, again, compile it. Yes, enter. And let's start MSI. Boo, freaking ew. So this is what happens. It just turns everything that is black in the image, everything that is black, because it's the top leftmost pixel, becomes transparent. And now if we detach this, we can see the pink, which before was transparent because the top leftmost pixel was pink before. But now that's how it is. So keep in mind that the top leftmost pixel of your image file here should probably be pink. This is the standard color for transparency in images that don't have transparency. You probably don't like to have one pixel at the top left. If you don't, just make the whole first row of pixels pink and you will have circumvented that issue. Okay, so pink is transparent. Now we're on the same page here. So I'm going to make all of this transparent. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to make even more black because I want stuff to just, you know, be a bit simpler and easier to read. And I don't like these gradients. And I don't like this text over here. So you know what? I'm just going to make everything black with a few exceptions. I know the buttons are all have their own labels, so we don't need most of this. I'm too lazy to do more, but this is how I'm going to design it for now. But I'm going to go back and get the pink, and paint one pixel here pink. So I'm going to Control E this. I'm going to copy this over. Yeah, I'm just showing you the process. You have to do it every time. And this is why having an efficient process is really cool. And using the keyboard is really great. And having a shortcut to MSI Afterburner is really cool. Yeah, this is pretty nice, actually. Now this thing is floating in the air. We're going to fix that next. So we're going to stick with this ugly H key. I don't care about it now. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff. But for now, I'm just going to show you the basics. And the next basic stuff is not making an icon nicer. The next basic stuff is making the position of this graph more tight. We're going to move it to the left. Look at all the space we're wasting. We have many pixels here, many pixels here, many pixels here, many pixels here, many pixels here. It's a waste. It's a disgrace. So now it's time to go back into the header file, which I still have in my elevated or admin rights notepad. And we're going to investigate how do we move this graph to the left. Let's search with Control F. Let's search for graph. Graph, no. Stat, no. Monitor. Monitor. Okay, BMP monitoring panel. That's an image file. Let's check out which image file that is. It's this image file. The image file that is being used for the background of this stuff. So, okay, so let's keep note of that. Let's search some more. Site monitoring. Look at that. Site monitoring is a window, apparently. Or a window site. That is interesting. Let's search for site monitoring some more. Okay, there's stuff. Button deattach. This refers to this button over here, which deattaches the graph. Button deattach here. Button deattach uses numbers. These are coordinates. And then site monitoring is the parent of this button. So relative to the top left position of site monitoring, this is the position of this button, so we know how to change it. Let's search. Okay, then we have site monitoring at the very bottom. I'm just going to zoom in so you can read better. Again, at the very bottom of this, at least, we have site monitoring, and this is for placeholders. This is actually for the location of this graph. So we can see it is at position 1939. So 19 pixels from the left, 39 pixels from the top. That is where this begins. So let's set this to 0 and 0, of course, so we don't waste any pixels. And Control S to overwrite, and because it's in the same folder, I don't need to move anything, but if you edited this in this folder, you will have to now move it there, etc., etc. And then, of course, we have to compile the skin. And then we need to, in my opinion, just restart MSI Afterburner because this is the fastest way. Look at that. Now this is in the top left corner of this window. It is not back there. It is not over there. That's annoying, but we're going to fix that as well. We can deattach it still. The deattach button is now hidden. That's kind of annoying. We're going to take care of that later. For now, let's focus on bringing this to the left and up. Okay, so for this, let's see, we're going to go back to the header. And let's see, header site monitoring is over here. So now this is the location at which it starts. 437 pixels from the left and 27 pixels from the top. We could just set it to 0 and 0, but then it would overlap everything and start from the left there. We could slowly reduce the number and then try it out and see how it fits, but let's do it more collected, more on top of things. Let's actually look at this image, skin base, and let's enable in view, right-click view, or if you have a menu at the top, let's see, how do we show the menu? Here. If you usually have a menu here, you can do it here, or you can again right-click on the image and then go to view and show the status bar. This is going to be horrible to see, but down here, when you move your cursor over the image, you will have two numbers. It's X and Y coordinates. They start at 0, 0. It's 0, 0. The top left coordinate is 0, 0. If you move to the right, the left number increases. If you move to the down, if you move downwards, the second number increases. So now you kind of get this. This is like an X, Y coordinate system. Only in computer graphics it usually starts at the top left rather than the bottom left, as it is in usual math or geometry. So now we're gonna just figure out what is this coordinate. I see at the bottom left this is 409,0. So 409 is a coordinate on the x-axis that I want to put here, 409. And over here we don't even need to think about that. It should be 0, of course. So I'm gonna just save this, file save. And again, I can just compile it because it was already in the folder. Cool. Let's restart MSI Afterburner. And as you can see, it is now in the top left corner of this whole mess. We can totally use the whole height of this skin. So let's find out the height first. In GIMP, I just go to right-click menu or menu in here. I go to image and scale image. That's the easiest way for me to see it. And I see width is 800, height is 543. Cool. So we're just going to go back. And let's see, the height of this graph is defined back down there, because this is the placeholder mon window, and it is currently here. 323 is the width, height is 410. If we replace the second number and just save, and then again compile, restart, we can now see that it is higher, but it is also cut off. I'm guessing it is because of a monitoring panel. Is it? Is it though? Okay, we can see the image size here is 496 as opposed to 543. This might be it. I freaking hate this look. Let's just fill it with black and resize it. Image, we could use scale or canvas size. I'm going to use canvas size. Change the height. This should not be linked. I can hardly see whether it's linked. Height 543. Resize, and I guess I have to resize the layer as well. Layer to scale layer to image size. Like that. We're just going to make some lines so we can check whether it actually is visible, but it shouldn't, because it should be completely overlaid by the graph. Export this, and you know what I did? I just dragged it from here. So I'm going to have to manually give it this location again. Yeah, so if I try to save it there, I need to add the path and a backslash there, and confirm, and here it is, and now I need to overwrite this file. Okay. Let's compile it again. Compiled, cool, cool, cool. Let's restart Afterburner and see if it works. Success! It uses the entire height of the skin now. Well, we can see these lines there. Ah, right. So the problem now is just the background image being too big. We're just gonna Alt print and paste it into an empty GIMP so we get the full image. I don't know why this is still in there. Bit strange. But anyways, we can see this is 800 pixels wide. Let's get skin base back in, not from here, from this folder. Geez, I just keep messing this up. And we can see this is also 800 pixels, so we basically just need to reduce it. To know how much to reduce, these white lines are actually useful, so let's select from here, and then move that to the other side, also add these, okay. I just cropped that, this is with image crop to selection, and we can see now it's 732. So if we go back to this image and go to image crop, no, not crop, by canvas size, change this to 732 in my case, resize it, and then export it. Right, so now we need to copy this back to over here, because you don't really specify sizes of images. They are automatically taken from the actual image sizes. Let's just compile this. All right, we're done here. Let's restart MSI Afterburner once more. Here we go. No more stuff on the right end. Perfect. Cool. Great. All right, so we moved this. You might have noticed the button behind it, the one that actually is allowing us to deattach this, it's now disappeared. So that's a bit silly. So place an older monitor window. We're going to move this by 200 pixels down. Save it. This is still the same folder, so I can just straight recompile it and start MSI Afterburner. So now we have this deattach button. We can kind of reverse investigate what it is by looking at the name, deattach here. We can see the file name is deattachbutton.png. We can search for that in the text file. In the header file, we can see it is bmp deattach. Okay, let's search for bmp deattach variable. Okay, it's reused a few times, and then it's down here. These are really long lines, but it is here. It defines button deattach, which we cannot search anymore. It's just one occurrence. The program knows what it is. And we see it is positioned 160 pixels from the left, 19 pixels from the top. Not sure what this is. And then it is parented to site monitoring. We don't want it to be a child of site monitoring. We want site monitoring to be empty. So let's just replace that with tab and save this and not close it because I like my administrator elevated window, notepad window. So let's just recompile the skin. Be glad it worked. Close this thing. And restart it. Okay, the button moved from there to there. So now you know how to move buttons. And if you want to change the style of each of these buttons, you have a deattach button here. You can change that. And it highlights when you hover it. And when you click it, it changes detach. Okay, so here we have bmp detach. That's a PNG file. When it is highlighted, I think that's hot. Then it is the same image, but with a hot effect. When it is pressed, it doesn't have a special effect. It just looks like the default one. BMP detach alpha. I'm not sure what that means. There's actually an entire section. If you go to settings and user interface, you can change the skin composition mode and set it to alpha or color key. I really freaking don't care. I don't want any of that. I really don't care. If you care about that, that's probably why this alpha stuff is relevant. But I'm sure you can figure it out. Anyways, if you want, you can actually create a new button 2 or something like that, and then use that image file, because they have it here. They have it, for example, for slider, background. They have separate image files for that, so you just need to create new image files based on the original one, and you can use them, and you can also disable the hot effect if you want. Let's try to find pressed down here under all these buttons. So we have bitmap effect pressed and bitmap effect hot, and what they do is they change the brightness. And the scroll, actually, yeah, it looks like it moves the image file by 1 pixel to the right and down. Oh, actually, yeah, to the right and down. I think that's 1 pixel. So that's what the button press does. You can change the effect of that by changing the number. You can change the brightness here. Maybe you can even define a new effect. Let's see if that's possible. Let's define cold. Let's set it brightness to minus. So detach pressed will be cold. And we're going to actually set it to minus 75 so it's really visible. Okay, this is still the elevated text file, so we just have to recompile and restart. Afterburner. Let's say click. Yeah, it actually becomes darker. Cool. So we can actually create new effects. I'm just going to move this stuff back to the top. 0 instead of 200. Save, recompile. Now you know how to move buttons. You can apply the same logic to other elements of the user interface. You know that to replace this core clock text, for example, you would have to actually paint it into the background. Oh yeah, one thing about the font, because we have fonts for example, numbers that change. There is this font bitmap image file. It's a bit crazy. You would have to actually edit it. It's a huge ASCII-based font file. Yeah, here it is. If you zoom in, you can see there's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. There might be a tool to create a 12 by 12. I'm guessing it's 12. Is it 12? It appears to be 12 by 12, yes. So you can use... So maybe there's ASCII image generators online that can create this kind of map for you. You know what? I'm going to try to find one. Nope. Nope. Okay, after trying out 2 other programs, I'm going to try this one. Codehead's bitmap font generator. Thank you, Codehead. I hope it works. Let's just download the zip and extract it, of course. Extract all. Extract. I don't want to set up. Okay, here it is. That's nice. Okay, image size. We know we need 12 by 1152. Maybe we can change the font size actually if we wanted to, but I'm not going to try. So far so awesome. Font height, let's set it to 12. Does that work? Not really. Maybe 10? Whatever. You can play around with this stuff if you need to. Now please let me change not the position but rather the grid. Also going to change the font over here. Start character, yeah, 32 is the one I want. Can't have transparency, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to fix that inside the application. Again, why can I not change the image size? What's going on here? Okay. Cool, I guess. So if you actually go to configuration, you can set the image size. Ah, freaking heck. Well, 16 is better than nothing. Last thing I really need is to center this. Or do I need that? Anyways, let's try it out. Export PNG. Okay, bitmap, whatever, I don't care. Gotta pick the folder, export font here. Export complete. Okay, let's put it in here. Okay, let's see if we zoom in. Yeah, we can see that this needs to be a bit smaller, so canvas size to 12. And this here, again, has transparency. Let's see, 12 by 1152. So let's reduce the canvas here as well. Okay, so we have stuff, letters and stuff. Maybe this works, maybe this works. But this is so far the best tool, the only tool that really made me make a straight line font map. Maybe horizontal font maps would work as well, I don't know. Anyways, now let's get rid of the background. So add alpha channel, go to color to alpha down here. And the color to alpha will be black. Okay, and now we're gonna select all white. Select grow by 1 pixel. Grow 1 pixel. And duplicate this. There it is, duplicate layer. And now we're gonna, I think, edit fill with black. Cool, move that down. Now we definitely want to move this to the right by 1. Yep, let's do that again. Select all the white. I guess we're gonna move this to the left again. Delete, yeah, let's just clear out this one. Again, select all the white pixels. Go here, grow by 1 pixel and fill with background color. Okay, now let's just export this as a PNG file, please. New font.png, I'm going to call this. New font.png, let's move it over right in here. Continue, and we're going to just replace the text font is here. We're just going to rename this to new font.png, save it. Oh, here. New font.png as well. Let's check for font.png. Yeah, there's no other occurrences, so that should be good. Save that. And we have to recompile, of course. Click, bing, bada bing, bada boom, and restart. Yeah, I can see the font is different now. I don't know if it's better. It is different. Okay, I showed you way more than I planned to show you. I didn't even think about changing fonts earlier when planning this video. I hope this is helpful. Let me know in the comments if you were helped. Let me know if you need some help with something specific, but I showed you how to move stuff around, so you should figure out the rest, I think. Also, if you are in the MSI Afterburner folder, just search for PDF, and there's the USF skin format reference. In here, you can just search for stuff. If you want to read text, that might help you as well. Anyways, I hope you have fun making skins. Let me know if you made a cool skin. People share them on DeviantArt most of the time. I mean, they require you to log in to download stuff. That's really annoying. So it's cool if you put in additional Google Drive links or something in your description texts. You can also just put stuff on GitHub, I guess, if you know how to handle the GitHub. That would be cool as well. Anyways, have fun making skins, and I'll see you next time. Until then, ciao.